Hello guys, so welcome to our new tutorial on C++ programming. In the last tutorial, we covered some of the concepts of data types. What are data types? How many types of data types are there in C++? What are the most important data types? And how we can use void to declare something in functions. So we understand some of the concepts of data types. Now, before going any further, we should focus on this concept that is introduced by C++. This is a very unique operator that is introduced by C++ to enhance the functionality of our C++ program. So, and what is that? That operator is known as scope resolution operator. So, what is a scope resolution operator? Before that, we know one thing. Like C is also a block structural state language that use block structure to construct program. Here, what I mean is that suppose we declare any variable like integer a that is holding any value 10. So we define that integer into some kind of scope that creates a block. It means the lifetime or the validity of that variable is within that block. So in this way, we construct our C++ program in the form of block and scopes. Well, okay. And we know the same variable name can be used to have different meanings in different block. What that means? It means sometimes we define values in the blocks. Suppose integer a equals 5 in the first block. Integer a equals 10 in another block. So a variable name can be used in different meaning in different blocks. And one thing more, a variable declared inside a block is said to be local to that block. What that means? It means whenever we define any scope, a block, and we define any integer value or any value we declare and define there, so its validity will be in that block only. It means it will be local to that block. Okay, so let's see what that means. Suppose we started our scope here. We define the value integer a holding value 10. Then there would be some statements, and we closed the scope. Okay, that constitute our first block. So in the first block, the value of a equals 10. Now we started our second scope. Here we define again the value of a equals 20. So here value of a variable is 20. There are some statements, and then we close the scope. So it constitute our second block. So here the value of a is 10 in first block, 20 in second block. So in this way we can define the variable in different block with different values. So these two declarations refer to two different memory locations containing different value. What that means? It means here integer a holding value 10 is pointing to different memory location. That memory location in which variable a has a value 10. And in the second block, integer a equals 20 is pointing to different memory location where the value of a is holding value 20. And suppose we all know that in C++ there will be nested functions. So nesting is allowed in C++, and this is a very beautiful aspect of C++ language. Here you can see we started our scope. We defined the integer value, that is int a equals 10. Then we didn't close out our first scope. Now we again started a new scope where we define the value integer a equals 5. Now that here comes the beautiful thing. Now we define the values cout. We use the function cout to print statement, that is put to operator, and a. We are using the function cout to printing the value of a here. Then we close the scope, and then we close the global scope. So Here the block 2 is nested in the block 1. Okay. Here what that means, cout will print the value A. Okay, and A is equal to 5 in this block. So here we can see the validity of A is only limited to this second block only. So the cout function will only print the value 5. It will never print the value 10. So this is a problem. If we want to use the value 10 here, how can that be possible? Because value of 10 is global value. We know that. But in the inner block, value of A is 5 and the value cout will be printing the value 5 only. So here we get to know one thing, that inside an inner block a value cannot access the value of the global scope. So this is a problem. So in order to solve this problem, C++ introduced the concept of new operator, that is known as scope resolution operator. So basically the scope resolution operator helps us or helps the program to access the global version of the variable. Here if we use cout put to operator and we are using scope resolution operator, then the value of cout will be 10 even if it is defined in the second block. Here declaration of variable declaration of the scope resolution operator is in the form of this, like scope resolution operator and variable name. Here if we use the value of scope resolution operator with A, the value of A will not be 5, the value of A will be 10. So now let's use the scope resolution operator in our program. Let's focus on our program on C scope resolution operator.